Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Chopping It Up. I'm your host, Ryan Went, a.k.a. The Eagle. Cue the Eagle sound now. He should have done it if he didn't. Striker, you're fired. We ain't going to deal with you anymore. Today, as you can see in the background, Mr. Alex Thompson, we have a different kind of podcast today. We got the soon-to-be Mrs. Alex Thompson in the house. Miss Mariah, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. So I think it would be fun. And listen, if we just bag on your soon-to-be husband just a little bit, right?
Oh, it's gonna be great.
You sound excited. Now, my first question for you is the same question I have for everybody. Age, location, what do you do for a living? Just what's Mariah about?
Well, I'm 26. I work as a dietary cook / dietary aide at one of the local nursing homes in Bismarck, North Dakota.
You know, and I've been in Bismarck, and there's not much in North Dakota.
No.
Have you ever thought about running away to a different state, maybe to a city?
I actually, did a whole different ball game. Let's take it all the way over across the seas. France would be a place to go.
You like France?
If I could, I would.
Yeah? I mean, they're not big fans of us. So, I mean,
No.
you might want to just be like, oh, yeah, I'm not from the States.
I'm not one who actually got to, how the schools do, all them special trips. The Spanish class takes a trip to Puerto Rico. Your French class takes a trip over to France and Paris and whatnot. I never got that opportunity when I was in high school, so I think it'd just be kind of cool to go myself.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know what they say, the best time to travel is when you're young, but
yeah,
it seems to be that.
But also, you gotta have money to do all that stuff.
Well, nobody has any of that right now. I mean, not with the way the world is. I mean, you just gotta be smart with your pennies and nickels. Which brings me to my next point: the wedding itself. When is it? You know, where's it going to be? Give us some details on the whole wedding plans here. Where are you guys at with all that?
Details. Somebody over here hasn't really discussed any dates with me yet, so we're still waiting on that. But it's probably going to be in Bismarck, probably one of the local places. I was thinking more so of getting a little get together with the families. I don't know. That all costs a lot too. But I'm cheap. I like to keep it cheap and simple. I would much rather just go to the courthouse, have a couple witnesses, and then have a big party after. But I don't know. We're not really that far.
So who? Stupid question, but it's today's day and age that I'm going to ask, so don't take offense to it. But who proposed to who? I mean, was it
Alex proposed?
It was all
to
traditional.
Me.
He got down on one knee and did all that.
Funny story, actually. He did it at the racetrack.
Oh, what a guy!
It was during the intermission after he got done with his feature race. I had absolutely no idea. Was I prepared for it? Frack no, I was not. I was not dressed for it either. But at that day and age, you just go with the flow.
So, did he have it all planned that he was going to do it, or did he just decide to do it?
Honestly, I have no idea to this day. I saw him go pull his car over by his trailer, and he was walking over to the front center where they call Victory Lane, and that's where he popped the question.
In front of everybody.
In front of everybody.
Did he use a microphone at least?
I think so. Did you have a microphone when you proposed to me? Yeah, I think he had something planned out with one of the gals that had one of the microphones. It was the championship night when that happened, so the stands were quite full.
Did you hesitate?
Honestly, I don't even know.
It's all full. How long ago was this?
When did you propose to me? 2017? I think it was 2017 in August.
Holy smokes.
Yeah,
so we still haven't tied the knot since 2017.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. That's a long time. And you guys don't have anything planned?
We got together in 2016. So it was roughly a year or 2 years, I think, after. And yeah, we still have no date or anything.
Holy cow!
Just kind of living the life.
I mean, at that point, you might as well just go. I'll be honest with you. I think your idea is great. Go to the courthouse, have a judge sign off on it. Just get that part over with, and then have some like sweet
I
ass
mean, if
reception.
you think about it, because my cousin's wedding was just in September. So if you think about it, when you get that marriage license, as soon as you have that license, you're practically married. You just have the whole ceremony part of it with the
Yeah.
pastor and whatnot, whoever,
Hey,
wherever.
you just need two. If I remember right, you just need two witnesses to sign it. You and
Yep.
him sign it,
Yep.
and then you file that paper. I think you have to. Somebody that's ordained obviously has to
hmm
sign it saying that you guys have been married. So which judges, for whatever reason, I know judges have that right without even being ordained. I don't know if it's just because of
And
it's
quite
a legal
frankly,
thing.
I just actually found out a friend of ours is ordained. So she's all like, "Hey, yeah, if you ever want to tie the knot, hit me up." I was like, "Oh boy."
It's funny because when me and my wife got married, we were going. I actually had a guy that I worked with. He's like, "Oh yeah, man, I'm ordained. I'll just say, you guys are married. Sign the paperwork." Well, my wife wanted it to be a little more official than just being all podunk about it. So we did the judge thing, but then I went back to work that same day. I don't think we ever did do a reception or anything.
I would like the reception more than like the whole wedding ceremony portion of it. I like to get together with my family and friends and party a little bit. But
So
I'm also not a dress person, so like paying the money for the wedding dress that you wear for the one day is kind of pointless.
so it's a they always say opposites attract, and the only reason I'm going off of this is because you're saying you're cheap, and
Yeah.
the guy behind you definitely racist, so I know that's a load
Oh.
of horseshit if he ever says he's cheap, because I know that's not true at all, because I raced myself. So I mean, how does that dynamic work? Do you have to kind of like stash money underneath the
I
mattress
kind
to
of
keep it
have
away
my
from him?
own stash. I got my own stash, but sometimes I'd crack into it just for extra spending measures.
Yeah.
I don't know what his stash is like. We have separate accounts, so I don't know.
So so when you guys do get married, are you going to go the whole traditional ways, joint accounts and
Yeah, we
everything?
might possibly go that way. I don't know. We haven't really talked about that part yet.
Oh, it sounds like you need to get on someone's ass
Uh,
about getting
try-
some stuff done.
yes, yes,
So do you guys live together?
we do.
You do live together. How long you guys been living together?
Uh, 2 years, three, maybe.
So I mean, you haven't.
When did you move in?
2, 3 years ago.
Yeah, we don't even know when he moved in. Yeah, we're gonna go with 2 or 3 years.
So I mean, you guys haven't scared each other off with your living habits yet. Then
No, if anyone's more scared, it's him. To
why
a
why do you,
point.
why do you think that is?
Well, I can be a bit much. I have a lot of mental issues sometimes, and I take it out on other people, or I just mentally shut down and quiet myself.
You know what? But again, like we said, opposites attract. And Alex seems, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the persona that we get of him, that he is an extremely patient individual.
He's been very very patient, and actually, quite honestly, he's probably helped me. I'm better now than I was 5 years ago, and that's saying a lot. I've
He's
toned
back there
down on
shaking his head.
everything. Yeah, yeah. Oh, come on now. Be nice.
Hey man, if you guys can't joke around together, there's no point in doing
And
it
that's
anyways.
just it. Like, if we're not joking around with each other, what kind of relationship do we have? He says that to me a lot.
No, I
I
agree.
don't pick on
I
you. What
agree.
kind of fiance am I? I
Hey,
don't know.
and with the whole mental state, what most men would say is like, "Hey, she's a female." You guys, you guys operate on emotions far too much, anyways, and that's just how it is.
Yep.
So don't beat yourself up about it. Every female does the same exact thing to a T. Like my wife, You know those Snickers commercials where the guy's going on like a rage and they throw him a Snickers. It's like, hey
Yep.
Billy, you're not yourself without
You're
that
not
is my
you.
that is
Yeah.
my I will fight tooth and nail with my wife. We'll go out, we'll get Subway or whatever we want, and next thing you know, she's dancing in the parking lot.
It kind of sounds like me.
That listen, folks, hangry is a real thing. It is a poison to the world that we live in for females because when they get hangry, all they see is red, and they don't like anybody until you feed them, and then they're happy. So, happy wife, happy life. Make sure you're feeding that lady. And we're not talking about like, hey, we got food in the cabinets, go make something. No, they ain't about that shit. You go out, you go get some sushi or pizza or whatever's her jam, to where she don't have to cook either.
Hey man, I'm all about that pizza ranch.
Oh, pizza ranch. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
pizza ranch chicken, and just take me to pizza ranch, and I'll be happy as I can
I haven't
be.
been to a pizza ranch in a hot minute. I know they closed a lot of them down, so it's crazy that there's still one in North Dakota because there's nothing
There's
up
actually a couple.
there.
There's
Really?
Yep, there's two that are close to us, and then in my hometown of Carrington, there's actually one down there too.
So let's fast forward. You guys, let's be a little hypothetical here. You guys get married. What kind of conversation is going to be had about possibly leaving North Carolina?
None.
None.
Nope. I don't think we're gonna go anywhere. I got too many family members in town here, and he's got too many family. I think we're probably gonna stick and stay for a while.
You don't get sick of all the cold?
No, no, we've been very lucky the last couple winters. And
Nothing
honestly,
serious.
I'd rather be cold than hot.
Yeah. Well, you can always put more clothes on. You can only take so much
Exactly.
off.
That's what I tell this man. He'll be freezing his buns off. I'm like, put a sweatshirt on. You're fine. Put some pants
So
on.
who's the heater at night when it's bedtime? Is he's the heater?
He is.
Just overly hot?
I prefer. So I have my one blanket, my weighted blanket, and I have a fan. Sometimes I have to turn that heater off at night.
Oh,
'Cause
so theoretically, it's like you're the man and he's the
yeah,
woman
yeah,
when it comes to bed. Because every
yeah.
guy likes it. They want icicles hanging off the ceiling and they want to snuggle up in a ball, and the
Nah,
other one's freezing.
he'd rather have the heat cranked all the way up to as hot as you can be.
So he likes to live in a sauna.
Yeah.
This is some interesting stuff about this man right here. Which is the whole purpose is to get to know him a little more through you and to see what the spouse goes through. So with all that being said, what is it like dealing with him and wanting to race and actually race like all the time? Because it's an obsession. I've been down the road myself.
It can be complicated, it can get hairy, but you're there to just support one another. Yeah, he spends quite a big chunk of time on his iRacing, but 95% of the time I'm at work anyways. It's all fun and games until it gets to come the evening hours and it's 9 o'clock and he's still not home because he's over playing on his games. In reality, I don't mind it much, but I do deep down, I do mind it.
Why doesn't he take his whole rig over to the house?
So, our house is kind of set up like an attic. An attic. It's an actual house, but they split it up into a duplex to where the family that lives down below us, the mom and dad are on the middle floor, and their son is in the basement, and it's us two on top, and it's really small,
I got
super
you.
small, and the ceilings are slanted, so there's that. There's only a couple normal walls that we have,
Right.
and internet. Supposedly, we can't have our own internet because it intercrosses with the guys downstairs. I don't know. This is what he told me. Alex's dad did some digging, and there is a loophole we can get around it, but it would probably involve a lot of splicing all the wires, contacting the landlord, contacting the internet services, and probably going through and digging up some wires and splitting them, however you do that. It'd be kind of complicated to fit it all into our tiny area.
So it's pretty much more of a hassle than it's
It's,
worth going through.
yeah,
I
yeah,
gotcha. So, I mean, so obviously the plan would be, when you guys, again, everybody's struggling right now. So don't beat yourself up about it.
yeah.
But the goal would be, when you guys get, find a bigger place where you don't have to share a dwelling with somebody, then, he can bring it over there and you'd have less of an issue with it then, right?
Yeah, I wish that could happen sooner than later, but some people are difficult to adjust to new environments and are not afraid to take that step out of their boundary. They have to be comfortable enough before they can take that step outside the box. I myself rather just, if I'm paying rent, I might as well just pay it towards something that I can call mine in the end.
Oh, I agree, 100%. And I mean, yeah, I get that 100%. And it's just you guys are in your 20s, you're young. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you got a lot of mistakes to overcome. Not that I'm a professional because I'm only 36, but I feel like I got 10 years on you, and I've learned a few things. And unfortunately, the way again the economy is right now, I mean, I live in a trailer, so people could judge me. I talk shit about myself, from living in a trailer, and everybody, I ever talk to is like, hey, man, there ain't nothing wrong with that. But it is what it
That's
is.
kind of what we've been looking at. And I heard that there's a first time home buyer for North Dakota, but we found out that it does not qualify for trailer homes. So we would have to have at least 10% to put down
Whew.
to go forward with that. And not everybody has that sitting around.
Hey, you just keep saving.
We got our mindset. We'll live, we'll survive with where we're at now. We'll figure it out from there and save up a little bit more money. And hopefully by the end of next year of 25, we can go forward with the whole buying process.
And on another thing, what you should do? You should just pull the trigger for the old boy back there and be like, hey, I need you to meet me at the courthouse. We got to sign some papers. I know they could do it for like $150.
Yeah.
Get it done in stone. Force his hand. That's what my wife had to do to me. She just said, hey, meet me here. I didn't even know what the fuck we were doing.
Oh, Lord.
And next thing I know, I'm walking home a married man. And but then you can be like, hey, start planning this reception, preferably in Boone, Iowa, at the Super Nationals. I think would be a hell of a reception.
Yeah, that's actually quite funny. We were just talking about Super Nationals earlier today, and how he would like to go back and race. And I'm just like, I wouldn't mind going down there and watching.
So you didn't get to go the first time?
I did get to go.
Oh, you did get to go?
He wants to go back down this summer, or this in September, and do another racing and take his car down there and race again.
What'd you think about that whole thing?
Well, we got a lot of saving to do if we're gonna do that.
Let's just start with Boone and Iowa itself, because I would say Iowa's not much different than North Dakota, other than the fact that the population's a little higher. What was? I mean, did you feel like you fit right in with that crowd?
Totally.
Yeah.
My favorite part about going down to Boone was the fact that the racetrack is in the middle of town, and across on the other side you got your Walmart and your
Right off.
Casey's.
Yeah, it's right off that
across.
4-lane. Yep.
I love that. Can that happen around here? Nah, maybe. Maybe.
Well, and I mean, it's it's like in town, but like kind of not in town.
It's
in
in
a
town,
weird
but
sense.
it's not in town, because
Right.
on the one side you got your Casey's and your whatever you need, and then on the other side it's farm fields. It's open range.
Oh, now that you brought that up, did you ever try Casey's Pizza?
Yeah, Carrington, actually, my hometown actually has a Casey's.
Really?
Yes.
That is
It
awesome.
used to be a stop and go, but they sold out, and Casey's bought the building and brought it up to Carrington. I tell you what, I've never had a best breakfast pizza ever until I had Casey's.
You know what? So everybody, we're talking about a gas station, which is predominantly in the Midwest. So I'm shocked that's in North Dakota because North Dakota is quite a bit northwest of Iowa. But she was talking about Pizza Ranch and Casey's. Casey's actually originally started with Casey's Pizza, and then it kind of morphed into a gas station and all this other crap. Um, I don't know how long you've been familiar with Casey's, but they used to have a barbecue beef pizza that
Ooh,
would
that
be
sounds
to
like
die
something I would
for.
demolish. That sounds good.
I like this lady. Listen, you're a good one. When you use words like demolish, you're my kind of people, 100%. We would drown that thing in ranch and just go to work on those
Yep,
things. Oh, yeah.
that
He doesn't
sounds
know how
good.
good he has it.
Oh no, he doesn't eat that kind of pizza. The only pizza he eats is pepperoni or pepperoni and sausage.
So you did say he was a picky eater, right?
Oh, very picky.
So what like give us some examples of like what you find just bizarre that he doesn't like.
Oh gosh, where do I even start? If we go to like a buffet and they have chicken strips and fries, that's how all he'll eat. But like if we go to like one of the Chinese restaurants, I love to go to eat Chinese. He refuses to even touch any of the rice, the chow mein noodles, the lo mein, any of that seafood, shrimp, the crab lasagna that they have. Nah, he'll go straight over to the American side and get the chicken strips and fries. Or sometimes when we go out to eat,
The
we go
chicken
out.
on the stick and shit.
Yes, yes, it's weird. We go to Mexican restaurants and he'll order chicken strips and fries off the kids' menu,
That
and all
is
the rest of us are eating Mexican food. Like, what's
has
wrong with
has
you?
he did he did he has he ever actually tried lo mein though?
No.
With you got to work him in with like
And
lo
that's
mein
the
with
other
some orange
thing.
chicken.
He doesn't try a lot of these foods. If he would try them and realize he might like them, but he doesn't
You,
try them.
I used to be like that. I think I had to try sushi 6 times because everybody's like, "Oh, it's great." Here's my this is my luck too. You'll get a kick out of this. So the first time I tried sushi, there was plastic in it. The
Ooh.
second time I tried sushi, there was a rock in one of them. I can't make this shit up. The third time I tried sushi, they forgot my order. So like as all this is happening, I'm sitting here thinking like, I'm not meant to like
Yeah,
this.
what's the point?
Yeah,
Hey man, I don't like
God's
sushi
against me.
either.
Yep, he doesn't want. I love sushi now though, but it took me 7 times of trying it.
Ugh.
And I think it's one of those things. Try something when it comes to sushi. Try a roll that's A, cooked, B, has something that you're familiar with, like crab, just crab, because then all it is like crab and cream cheese that's
Oh.
cooked with a little sriracha on it. You'll fall in love with it, and
Mm.
then once you get used to that, you start working in like, oh, I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna try like eel. I love eel. Sounds disgusting, but it's
Eel?
so good. Eel, yes.
What?
Eel, tilapia that's cooked right is really good. Spicy tuna is great. I mean,
Hmm.
there's just when you do try it again, don't ever forget I ever said this, but try them cooked. Make sure they're cooked.
You
Don't do
know,
raw.
there is a restaurant around here. There might be a couple, but there's one particular, Colby's. It's a hibachi grill
Yep.
place. They have cooked seafood or cooked sushi. I have tried theirs. I did not mind theirs, but raw sushi is just, I don't know, something about it that
Yeah.
turns me away.
Well, it's just something you have to build yourself up to.
Right.
I mean,
And
like I said,
I don't really eat much of that either, so that's another reason.
oh man, once you dip your toes in it and you start enjoying it a little bit, sushi is mucho mucho. It's perfect. It's just I'm into the raw stuff now. Like in Florida, they have like really fancy Japanese sushi to where you eat it with your hands because it's disrespectful to use any kind of utensils in front of the chef. Like that's how,
Wow.
and it's a 7-course meal. So like I've had some of the best smoked salmon you've ever had in your life, and I hate salmon.
Ooh, I love salmon.
It's too oily for me.
I can eat it.
All right,
Day and night.
you're making me hungry. We gotta move. We gotta move forward on the. So back to as a spouse and dealing with him racing. Are you familiar with the reputation that he has in the leagues that he's iRacing in?
No, not really.
Did he? Oh, so he doesn't even come home
really
bitching or anything.
He doesn't really come home and talk about all that stuff. He leaves his parents' house. He comes home. He's like, "Hey, how are you? How's your day?" And goes to bed.
No kissy, smoochy, smoochy. Just
No.
right to bed.
Just right to bed. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And we have 2 cats. So most of the time I'm talking to my cats like, "Aw, you poor babies. He doesn't even care about you." You know, just kind of see what happens.
Well, during the week, I know everybody's always busy during the weeks. What do you guys do for fun, like on the weekends and whatnot?
Sit at home.
Sit at home? Guys don't get out and do anything?
No, kind of. Yes and no. There's a lot of ups and downs in the winter. It's especially hard because you can't really go outside and do everything. But when racing fires up, then every weekend we'll be doing something.
Balls to the wall.
Yeah. I know every Friday night we'll be racing here in Bismarck, and I don't know what he's got planned, if he's going to even go out of town at all. But most of the time, I just hang out at home. I had a stroller. I could take my cats for a walk, but my stroller broke. So
speaking of cats, and you're young obviously, but has there been any talk about starting a family in the future?
Yeah, there has. I actually have a few moments where I'm like, "Hey, let's start doing this now." And then I'm like, "Oh no, let's not do this now." It's kind of hit or miss. Eventually we'll have a family. But he's got issues that he's gone through, and I think he's just a little scared that the same thing's going to happen with a previous relationship, and I tell him it's not. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you guys have been together for a hot minute.
Yeah.
A hot minute. And been living together for another hot minute and still not married.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, you might have to just pull his hand a little bit, force the issue.
Yeah,
I don't
do something.
I don't always suggest that, but I'm a firm believer. If you want something in life, you gotta go get it.
And if it has to come to that, I'll throw a little threatening threats in there, but we'll leave it as it is right now. I know my one friend, she was having a hard time, and she was trying to leave in her relationship or go forward more, and then finally she's just like, "It's either this or I'm gone." And her and her boyfriend, now husband, tied the knot.
I mean, I'm glad that worked out for her, but I know, like, for me, if I was given an ultimatum, I'd be like,
yeah,
pack your bags.
And that's just it. Like, I'm not one to push, but I'm also wanting to move forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah, this cat needs to tie that knot.
Needs to do something right.
Yeah, hey, listen, there are plenty of race car parts that will look like a ring when it's all said and done.
And that's the other thing. I'm not much of a ring person because I work in the kitchen and dietary, and we're not really supposed to have anything on our hands. So, like, if I were to get anything, I probably would get a tattoo. And with Alex working on cars and whatnot for his race car, I don't even know if he would wear a ring.
See, I got a tattoo too. Here.
Yeah.
The knuckle's really hard. The B kind of wears out a little bit.
Right. Which is going to. I mean.
Yeah, well, and I've had that thing touched up like 6 times, but, she has a ring and whatnot. And I don't take this the wrong way, because you don't seem like a girly girl. You seem like you remember that song Redneck Woman?
Yeah.
Gretchen Wilson?
Yeah.
That's the kind of broad you strike me by.
That's the title of my life. I love Gretchen Wilson, and that's one of the songs that I kind of live by.
That's awesome. Listen, I wish, I wish more were like that. That just were more focused on everything else over their self image. You know what I mean? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
not looks isn't everything. Makeup can
It's not about the looks, man. It's
right.
always about the personality and the inside of the person. And yeah, give me a pile of mud and I'll play in it.
So do you? I mean, do you guys have any outdoor toys like wheelers and whatnot?
No,
No.
I wish.
Well, I mean,
Although
up there, I'd be having snowmobiles, son.
there is a desert. There is a desert that's around this area. I've never been there. And I hear
Really?
a lot of people always take like their razors or their four wheelers and whatnot, ATVs, out and play and roll around in the sand. I've never been out there. So yeah.
That does. Where the hell is the desert at in
I
North Dakota?
I don't know. How do you explain where the desert's at?
So how we explain the desert is out here we have um a college called U of Mary, and it's before that there's a couple turnoffs that you go into an actual stand we call it the desert because, like she said, we just go out there mudding and all that stuff. So
That's interesting.
Is it kind of on the outskirts?
no, it's still in the inskirts of town type of deal.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to take a trip out there this summer.
I hope your audio's recording because I don't see it popping up underneath your name every time you talk. That
How do
would
you
suck.
know if the audio's recording?
Oh, we'll find out when it's all said and done. It's just like if you look under my name on the right hand side, you can see those little bars moving when I talk. See
Is
that?
it not working?
I don't know.
Is your little bars moving? Because I don't see it.
Where do I find the bars? Where do I find the bars?
It says it's recording.
It says on the thingy.
I don't know what your screen looks like, but underneath your name,
I don't know.
Yeah, hey, we'll figure it out, or we'll have
If
to
not,
do
we'll
this
just have
shit
to
over
redo
again.
it over.
I know.
I'm okay.
I ain't got that. I ain't got that kind of time right now. But I know you don't either. So
I'm flexible.
let's. Okay, so we keep going back and forth, which is perfectly fine. So you're not aware of how his reputation Chop Shop. So I'm going to tell you what his reputation is at Chop Shop. And you might find it funny, you might find it ironic compared to seeing how he races in real life. But this guy used to, keyword used to, be one of the worst drivers in the league. He liked to get into people racing, which it's virtual, it's hard.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about So does that front wheel drive car of his on the axle track meet a lot of other front wheel drive cars? So he's always coming up with a banged up race car.
On the real track, yes and no. It depends what kind of people are on the track with him. But when he gets that line and he just pulls away from everybody, he's all by himself. I've watched him a couple of times as I got off work. I came over here and say hello, how are you doing? And he'd be in a race. And then he would be minding his own business, and sometimes people get up into him, and then he gets a little crabby. It's like you can't just bombard everybody with all your negativity. It's a simulation. It's gonna be a little bit difficult.
In all honesty, we don't see the negativity part. You know, he keeps that off the radio. But in all honesty, he's done a phenomenal job ever since we did our podcast. He's actually picked up the pace. He actually does a lot better. Mistakes are still made, but it is what it is.
Right.
But like you were saying, you know, when you watch him real racing and he starts pulling away, I mean, what's it like from your standpoint of watching him just clock out? And
exciting.
Is it exciting? Mm-hmm. I mean, you just it's like a high, isn't it? Like
it's a rush. It's definitely a rush. And then when he's battling with somebody for the lead or to get second or wherever he's at, it's even more of a rush.
Do you ever get nervous, like if an accident happens?
Oh yeah, all the time. I try to ignore that part of it though. I'm
Well,
focused on the excitement.
I'll tell you as a driver, or as an ex driver myself, that's not even a process in our mind that I could get hurt. We don't even think like that. It's all about you're super nervous before the race starts, but the second those lights go green and that flag's waving, all about that business. It's like, how fast can I get to the front and embarrass everybody here? And if he went to Boone, he obviously has enough talent to.
Yeah, he did pretty good down
dominate.
there.
Yeah.
He does pretty good everywhere he goes.
I'm not a fan of the front wheel drives myself, but I drove a rear wheel drive car because they like to leave ruts in the racetrack.
The only thing I know how to drive is my car, my daily car. I don't know how to drive any race car or nothing.
You never jumped into his, give it a little spin?
Oh God, no.
Does it scare you?
A little bit. I'm not that good when it comes to running the clutch and shifting gears either. I'd be that one to burn out his clutch and then have to buy him a new one.
Well, I mean, how often is he buying parts for that to make it faster?
I don't even know.
Anyways, what does it matter?
It can always go faster, Alex. Always. No matter how much money it takes.
I don't think any amount of money will make it go faster.
Do you think?
I mean, you never know.
Do you think after getting married and getting a house together and anything, it's ever going to slow down?
Nope. Not one bit.
So I would assume one of his primary goals or requirements for when you guys buy a house is that bad boy have at least a decent sized garage.
Yep. Or a shop.
Oh, yeah. You got shop? 100%.
He can have the shop and I'll take the garage and we'll be fine and dandy.
You like to park the car in the garage, don't you?
I would like to, yeah.
There's not a man in the world that cares about anybody parking their cars in the garage. That's more of like a winter thing, like women don't like to scoop snow off their car or deal with that crap. They rather just jump in and go.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the primary reason. Another thing I'll give you a hint about, garages aren't for storage. That's what a basement's for.
Garages aren't for storage.
They are.
So Alex breaks all the rules when it comes to being a man.
Yeah.
And owning the garage, guys. He stores shit in there like Christmas trees and whatever. And that's supposed to be just for toys. That's what it's for, toys. Toys and tools and more toys. And that's when we build our bullshit that you're like, why'd you make me a stainless steel broom? Because I can. That's why. And that's awesome. And I wanted to weld a little bit that day, What's the 10-year goal with you guys? What do you? I mean, you're in your 20s. By the time you're in your 30s, so like, where would you like to see you and Alex at? What's the racing career you think? Where are you going to stand and all that?
Well, 10-year goal probably would be to have a house, have a couple dogs, maybe even a couple kids, take a break from the whole racing ordeal, spending time with family, not just me as a family, but our sides of the family, going on vacations a little bit, going out to adventure, and maybe get a go-kart for the kid.
Go-kart, that'd be cool. Let's just talk about the vacation aspect. Let's just say you couldn't travel outside the country. Where are you going to travel to? Like in the States for like a quick trip?
Honestly, I would go over to Minnesota. I would like to
Really?
go back. I would like to go to the Mall of America. Only because it's a big place, but they also have a hotel that's attached to it now. And take the kids are in their Nickelodeon land and go see the different stores. Go eat at Bubba Gump's shrimp place, because I like that place. He's on his own for his own food, but me and the kids can go and have Bubba Gump's. And also go hit up a liquor store over in Minnesota, because when we were in Boone, we found the Mountain Dew Hard. You can't get that in North Dakota for some silly reason that I have
Right.
no idea. So Minnesota would be the next place to go and get that.
Well, what's it's I wouldn't even. I guess. I mean, I guess you could make a vacation out of the Mall of America. I've been there a
There's
few
probably
times.
other places over there too that I just can't think about right now.
Yeah, well, like St. Paul. Like, I used to go to St. Paul, Minnesota, all the time because there's Indian reservations over there, and you can gamble at the casino. Before you were 21. So I
Right.
mean, that's the whole purpose of why I went there. But you can go over Wisconsin Dells. It's like awesome.
Oh, I forget about that place. I've only
Brant,
been there a couple times.
you got Branson, Missouri. I mean, there's everything to do down in Missouri, and they're fucking hillbillies down there. That goes for you too, Jason. I know you're listening or you're watching this. Everybody from Missouri's hillbillies. You can't change my mind. I don't care. I can say that because I lived 30 miles from the border of Iowa and Missouri. And half my family lives in Missouri and they're hillbillies. Iowans are rednecks. North Dakota, those idiots.
Yeah, that's
My
me.
point exactly. There's like 3 big towns in that entire state. It's North Dakota's weird. I used to deliver up to Minot all the time, and they have a Menards up there, so I'd bring like insulation
Yep.
panels or some shit. And God forbid you ever break down in between any big city because you're going to be sitting there for a minute. Nobody gets in a rush in North Dakota for whatever reason.
No.
Like they take their time. They'll stop and talk to their buddies. Like a record company will come tell you, and he'll stop and have a beer with his buddy in whatever town before he even gets to you.
Yep.
That's a weird. That's what I'm saying. You guys, listen. It's a big world out there. I live down in Florida now. I don't know if you've been to too many beaches or seen the ocean, but it'll change your life. Something about the sun. And he'll love it because he likes the heat anyways. We're close to the equator.
Son and I don't collab very well.
You get burn easy?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, they got sunscreen. That's what's for.
It'd take a whole gallon of sunscreen to cover
A whole
the heat.
gallon? Hey, okay, so you're probably, you need to live in like Greenland or something.
Yeah. Or Alaska. I can handle Alaska.
I've looked at Alaska a few times. The problem with Alaska is like we think the cost of, especially your area, like the cost of living's high because there's not much there. Alaska's worse.
It's higher, yeah. But it's a beautiful place.
Have you been there?
No, but I'm a big follower of the Iditarod.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I've watched Balto and the Alaska Last Frontier. I don't know what it is. It's just the scenery that catches me and drags me up there. Oh, and the Northern Lights. You can see the Northern Lights very well up there too.
So would you say you're like a big outdoorsy person?
I would, yeah. I probably would say that.
You like being outside a lot?
I'd spend a lot of time at home, but I also sit outside on my little, what do you ever want to call it, little patio type deal on a lawn chair, just sitting there.
Relaxing.
Yep.
Well, enjoy it. Enjoy it as much as you possibly can because when kids get introduced to the picture, there ain't no Mariah time no more at all.
Hey, man, I might be in heaven when that time rolls around. I'll actually have somebody to play with and whatnot.
There's still a headache. I have 5. If you ever want any, I'll give all 5 of them to you. Send them back when they're 18. They got jobs.
Okay. Will do.
I got 4 boys, 1 girl. The only thing I'm excited about is I won't have to mow or do any of the crap that I don't want to do.
And that's the one thing I kind of miss. When I grew up, my dad taught me and my sister. I have a sister who is younger than me, but he taught us how to mow and how to rake leaves and do a little bit of outside work. At the place I'm at now, I don't really have to worry about that because the family lives downstairs. Their son does all the mowing.
So you'd be excited just to mow your own yard.
Yeah, well, actually, I would have to be the only one to mow the lawn because somebody can't handle grass very well. His allergies.
Allergies, really, with grass?
Yeah.
What a bitch. That is crazy.
Yeah.
This guy, it sounds like he needs to live in one of them airtight
He needs
bubbles.
a bubble.
Yeah.
Although he'll probably have too much fun in the bubble.
I would try walking on water
Right?
if I was in a
That'd be my first
a
thing.
bubble. Yeah. Or get your other buddies in a bubble so you can play bumper cars. I mean, that would be awesome. Could you imagine trying to get in a fight with two people in a bubbles? That'd be awesome.
You want to fight in a bubble?
I'll go fight in a bubble.
Okay.
See, I told you. You get 10 of your buddies in a bubble.
Excitement right there.
Yeah. Listen, men are easily entertained by stupid shit.
Yeah.
You give us a deck of cards, we'll build a castle. That's how stupid we are.
I can't do that.
I can't.
I don't have patience.
Oh, I would be lucky to get 2 rows done.
It falls down, I get mad.
So Mall of America would be one.
Mm-hmm.
Where else would you like to go?
Wyoming? I don't know why.
Really?
I don't know why.
What do you want to do in Wyoming?
I have no idea. It'd be one of those things where I just get in the car and drive. We'll end up where we end up.
I lived in Sheridan, Wyoming for 2 years. It's just about, I want to say it's like an hour north of Cody. And we lived right off the Little Bighorn. And I'll tell you what,
Ooh.
it never gets old walking outside and just having a backdrop of mountains across the back.
That's probably why, the mountains.
Well, the cool thing is too, during the summer months, if you have a camper, you can pull it into the mountains, park it for free, and just camp up in the mountains. Obviously, though, it sounds great. Wait, listen. It sounds great. Why? Look at all these damn little gnats flying around me. It sounds great, but you got mountain lions. You got big ass elk. I don't know if you've ever seen an elk before,
Nope.
but they're gigantic.
Nope.
Moose.
They're scary. They're scary.
Huge. They're huge and territorial, so they'll attack you the second they can. There's a lot of shit up there that can kill you. So it's like, it's great, but like you're outside, right? Here's the best part about camping. And I'm a fat ass, so I'm going to bring it up. Best part about camping's cooking. You get that outdoor char, you get the wilderness smell, fresh oxygen, you got the altitude, everything's awesome. But you got mountain lions, you got moose, you got fucking elk. Like that, those fuckers like to eat too.
Yeah, a person.
So I hope you like guns.
I don't own any, but I know how to use them.
Does Alex have any?
No. Well, I don't know. Do you have any guns? Besides
3?
your rifle?
I got 3 of them. They had a 243, 20 gauge shotgun.
Numbers don't mean crap to me.
And 30 out of 6.
We're going to have to call ATF on Alex Thompson. He probably has a bunch of unregistered firearms. He said, North Dakota, if you're listening, ATF, you can go get this hillbilly. Got unregistered guns. I don't know. I'm just talking shit.
That's okay.
So with the whole 10-year plan, taking a break from racing, possibly having a family, more animals, a house, you guys got to start doing something that's other than sitting at the house, right? Like what's an ideal, like what going forward, what's like ideal weekends, like going out to movies, going out to eat, going to hiking, whatever.
Just doing little weekend getaways where you get out of Bismarck and go stay somewhere else for the weekend. Get a hotel. It's got a pool. I don't know. That'd be good for me.
A few of our guys in our league live down in Arizona, It's like some of the best hiking that you can ever find. And along with the hiking, like you'll run into springs, like natural water springs that they'll go fucking swimming in, skinny dipping, whatever they're into. And I mean, I've seen pictures from a few buddies that are absolutely gorgeous. On top of that, there's areas where they're side by sides with these stupid lit up fucking antennas, and they just go tearing ass all day, all night, just four wheeling.
That'd be fun. Sounds like a good place.
Yeah, you should look into going to like Arizona. I used to truck, so I've been to every state other than Maine, Hawaii, and Alaska. It's the only three places I haven't been. I heard Maine's gorgeous but super expensive. Utah, if you like views, Utah's gorgeous. They go tubing down the springs there. Like you could drive through the pass of the mountains and you'll just see these assholes tubing down the water. I don't know how long that takes, but I can't imagine it's fast.
Just right in the rib.
Have you guys ever been tubing?
Not recently. It's been quite a while since I've been tubing.
Really? Yeah, it's bringing up tubing, because every time I think of tubing, I've always been pissed drunk when I've went tubing. Who's the drinker out of you two?
Me.
You are?
Oh yeah.
What's the drink of choice?
Busch Light.
Busch Light, Busch lattes.
Yeah.
And not very many females drink actual beer too, so that's another chalked up for you.
I'll drink like whiskey and vodka and whatnot, but not as much as beer. Right now I'm on the Busch Light peach kick right now.
I don't think I ever tried it. I tried the apple. But
I still have a couple apple in my refrigerator that I'm holding on to for good measures. But I got the peach, and then Crown. I'll drink Crown. Jameson.
I can't
Malibu.
do Crown. It sounds like you're not scared of any of it.
Anything you put in front of me.
Damn. Hey. I'll be honest, man. He better tie you up before someone else does. There ain't nothing wrong with an old lady that drinks Busch lattes, and likes any kind of food you throw in her direction. I mean, that's awesome. You got it. I've always found it unique and funny how opposites attract. It's very rare that you see a couple that are like they'll have similar interests, but they won't be, alike. And then you see the relationships where people are alike, and they're fucking miserable for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing, isn't it?
I think we're a good match. Yeah, we're the best match.
Do you guys have any different like career views or anything moving forward? A different job or anything like that?
Right now, I'm content with working as a cook, but probably somewhere in the near future, I would like to go to school to be a dietitian or to be the dietary manager. Stay in that nursing home setting for me. For Alex, I don't even know. He works in fast food, or he works in the diner setting at Crow's Diner, which is like fast food, but not fast food. Food service for him. Do I ever see him moving? Maybe.
He says no. I don't know why you'd want to be stuck there.
Yeah, I don't know. He has his days where he comes home and I'll be like, how's work? It was fine. Or he'll go off on a rant. I don't know. Well, if you don't like it, then why you stay?
Well, I mean, in today's day and age, I mean, it's hard to leave something that's guaranteed versus, and the way the economy's sitting, they're saying like, households are supposed to be bringing like 200,000 in. I mean, that's ludicrous. There's not enough people in the world, especially when you're in your 20s. There's no way you're making six figures unless you just kind of fall into that perfect position, you know. What exactly does a dietitian do?
They go over the care plans for the residents. If they're not eating, they'll throw in a supplement, which could vary from an Ensure Clear to a Boost to a Mighty Shake. Basically, it's other drinks that are full of calories and I can't think of the word right now, but they help you feel full, get your nutrition that you need, so you don't look malnourished.
Okay. Did you have to go to school for that?
Yeah.
You did. What's how do you know other than the obvious of, somebody just not eating, but how do you know somebody's missing, X amount of nutrition or
You
whatever?
check their charts. So you would have to create a care conference, which is where you get together with the residents' family members, the nursing staff, the administrator, and your dietary manager, and go over all these different things and create a plan
Huh.
of action to help them get better.
What's what have you found to be the hardest part of that career?
When they when the family doesn't get happy and they want to start a riot per se, then you have
So,
to
are
just
you on the front lines of dealing with that then?
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, that I
It's
could see that
not
being
easy.
rough.
It's not easy when you have to like call in hospice care and put them on their end of life, and when they get so sad looking, it's hard.
Uh, so, are you? So, I take it you're the person that has to make that decision.
Yeah.
I would assume along with, like a registered nurse or a doctor or whatever, saying like, "Hey, this guy's."
You work with the nursing staff, the nurses that are on that unit, and then their dietary needs. If they're still wanting to continue, then you can offer all the other supplements. But if they're just refusing it and they're ready to go, then you let the nursing staff take over from there until they pass.
Why would you want to stay in a job like that? That sounds so difficult
I
to deal with.
don't
I mean, your
know.
stress level's got to be high.
Yeah, it can be. It can be.
So those are the cons. What's the pros?
Oh, let's see.
Like what part?
Some people actually they were on their end of life care, and you thought they were going to go overnight, but when you showed back up after the weekend, they were the complete opposite. They
Really?
were full of energy, they were wanting to eat, they perked up, they got their color back, and today they're still with us.
So, I mean, is that solely based on, them eating and getting the right nutritions at that time, or is it like that with a mixture of
Sometimes
like
I feel like
medical care?
it's just a spiritual thing. It's basically the Lord telling them that no, you can't, it's not time yet. Or their
Right.
family members are also trying to push to keep them with them too.
I mean, I don't know why these damn gnats are flying around. I'm like a squirrel. I could see that. I wouldn't. I had a good buddy of mine pass away. Um, about 2 month, a month, probably a month ago, and his family decided to call it quits, which I was, initially like insanely upset about it. But he ended up he was an alcoholic, like really bad, and his all of his organs were just shutting down on him, and the doctor said there's like less than 0.5% of him making a recovery. So it's just like, well, he was in a coma, so you're
Mm-hmm.
just in a zone like, well, do it and do it quick. It ain't worth, less than 0.5% isn't living even in a coma.
Right.
So I get fighting for a relative. I mean, it's just, I don't know how one comes up with a decision to ever like, oh yeah, let's send them to hospice, because an easy pill to swallow
No.
in any way, shape, or form. This is sad and depressing. I don't want to talk about this no more.
Well, let's move on. What else
Let's
do you
move
want to
on.
talk?
I'm still stuck on the aspect of you living and dealing with a guy that iRaces, because we never see the side of that, and this is an iRacing podcast that we have started. So how often is he even racing on here anymore? I can't keep track.
Honestly, I don't even know, because I work such opposite hours. I don't get home till 7:30, 8 o'clock sometimes, and I'll be at our house, and he won't be home, so I'll be like, "Where are you at?" "I'm over at my parents' on my PC." I was like, "Are you in a race, or are you just practicing?" "Just practicing." 95% of the time, when as soon as he gets off work at 2 o'clock, he's over at his parents' house on his iRacing. Do I know if he's doing any leagues? I don't know. If he's just test driving? Probably. Good chunk of time.
I figured you'd be more in touch with what's going on.
Sometimes I'm not. There are some times where I go to work and I don't hear one single word out of him until I call him when I get off.
That's 90% of men.
Yeah, well,
And I get irritated when my wife calls me, even if I haven't spoken to her all day. But I've known her my entire life, so it's like, what could you possibly say to me that I don't already know?
right?
Unfortunately. So do you ever find yourself, like getting off work and trying to figure out where he's at so you don't waste a trip, just going home?
Sometimes. And I probably would call and be like, "Oh, I'm just going to go home." And then 2 seconds later, I come walking in the garage. "Never mind, I'm going to come hang out for a while." I don't know. We have
How far does his parents live from where you guys are at?
about 10 minutes. So
that
they
ain't
kind of
horrible.
live north. What is this? Northeast or northwest?
Northeast.
So they live northeast of town, and we live down south.
So you're just across town.
Yeah. Just a
So,
10-minute.
So yeah, if you both are over there, you guys just stop at a restaurant on your way home or do your errands.
Sometimes I eat at work. Just depends on what the meal is and if I'm hungry or not. Most of the time I'm not hungry. I'll just go home, or he'll eat, or he'll be like, "Can you go get me chicken fries from Burger King?" Okay, fine.
He likes that kid menu, doesn't he?
I guess.
Hey, you know what the good thing about that is it's cheap.
Hey, yeah.
Just get him a coloring book with it and a toy. The guy will be set.
Oh, yes. Although I'll take over the coloring pages. He can have the toy.
Listen, if there's a maze involved, I'm all in. 100%. Don't forget about me when I get up there. You know what though? In all seriousness though, if you guys do find yourself going to Boone again, whether it's this year, next year, 10 years down the road, whenever, somebody better let me know, because I'll fly up there. Because I've been to the Super Nationals, and they're like, "Oh, it's one of the greatest races." Blah blah blah. Yeah, it is. You know what else is great about that place? It's a party.
Yeah,
a big party.
We did not get to experience any of the party that went on down there because we were concerned about, it was our first time being down there, and we didn't really know what to expect or how to handle things. We were just down there to enjoy our time that we did. But I did tell him, I wouldn't mind going back, staying for that full time, and actually getting down and dirty in the dirt with the parties.
Oh, afterwards, especially after championship night, there'll be dudes doing burnouts, catching on fire, and it is a party.
I wouldn't mind taking a walk through that, what do you call that? Merchandise row?
Yeah.
That little.
So you guys didn't really do much other than just show up to race.
Yeah. Basically.
That's depressing.
Met a few people. We met a few people from up in the stands that were out of stairs. I think they were from, can't remember where they're from. They're from Montana, maybe? I don't know. But they just go down there to watch the races and to party with everybody else. They don't even own a race car at all. It's hey man, that'd be fun.
That's a good party right there.
Yeah.
You know, and did he ever have anybody jump him down the pits and go check out his car and everything after the race or anything?
No, I don't think so.
Hmm.
I think we all just went back to our little spot where we were at, and we got the car loaded up and said goodnight and went back in the morning and picked it up and hit the road.
That's crazy.
He did meet one of the other racers that was to the left side of us from Texas. He did get his, what is it, PlayStation?
iRacing.
iRacing. He did get his iRacing. Have they ever talked since then? I have no idea. Probably not. But this guy from Texas, he actually went up to,
Oklahoma.
was it Oklahoma the night before? Or Missouri.
After Boone, he went to Oklahoma.
No, he went to a race before.
Oh.
But whatever, it don't matter at this point. But he races the country. He was at a race before they came to Boone, and then after they were in Boone, they were leaving to go to Oklahoma to run another race. That kid was in it. He's in it. He got a little upset and mad because he didn't finish where he wanted to finish in the big main thing. But all in all, fun.
That was awesome. That's, you know, and when you go down there, it's almost worth going and talking to as many people as you possibly can. Just from a racer standpoint, is like you could pick up what exactly, you know, what's this person doing, what's that person doing, what's this person doing, and kind of, you know, make adjustments on the fly, especially for a track that you're not entirely familiar with, you know.
Yep.
Well, I think we covered quite a bit. Did good. You're natural.
I try.
Okay, well, on our way out the door, I always like to give a shout out to all of our sponsors. And before I do that, I want to tell you, keep supporting him. I know all of us that I race, having spousal support is always nice. It helps us keep moving forward when we know we're not going to get the shit beat out of us for doing it so much, because it is an obsession. Just like actually racing. I mean, he might have to pick one or the other eventually one of these days, but keep backing him up. It's good. Our sponsors: C2 Gaming, My Three Sons Track Racer, Balla Status Boys, Speedy Trophies, Admin Box, GeoMax, Virtual Velocity Racing, MCI Graphics, Stay Tuned, Sports Podcast. We got to thank everybody that allows me to do this, allows me to interview anybody and everybody that I want. We had Mariah with us, a.k.a. the soon-to-be, maybe 5 years down the road, maybe 2 months down the road, Mrs. Alex Thompson, Miss Mariah. It was lovely meeting you. I appreciate you taking your time out of your day to do this.
Thanks for letting me have this time.
I hope everybody enjoys it. It's a different view of somebody else's life that we've already spoken to, that I know the guys would they'd be interested. At this time, I give all of my guys that I do a podcast with a chance to shout out anybody or thank anybody they want to. So if you have any, now's the time to do so.
I just want to thank you and Alex for setting this up together. I really had fun doing this, and look forward to doing it again sometime.
Absolutely. And don't be scared to jump on a microphone while he's in Discord and just talk some shit, because it's fun for all of us, okay?
Okay, well, I'll do.
All right, that's going to do it for us at Chop Shop. I'm your host, Ryan. Thank you again, Miss Mariah. We'll see you all at the next episode.